to stay informed, get educated, and feel empowered? Stay tuned where information is power.
Eddie Frederick has got it all. Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Welcome to EDDIE-FICATION, made possible by the efforts of the Center for Democracy and Good Governance, CDGG. The Center for Democracy and Good Governance is a sound organization established to promote and strengthen democracy.
I want the best for my family, so every meal has to be perfect. Every bite has to say, There's no doubt in my mind that the best in frozen meats and vegetables has to come from the Country Cold Store. Hams, turkeys, sausages, beef, pork, chicken. I just don't know my family is in safe hands. Thank you, Country Cold Store, for being there for us for the past 40 years.
There are some interesting specials available at Country Cold Store's Mini Mart while stocks last. Take advantage of these specials as they assist you to stretch your limited funds.
The Country Cold Store, providing the best in frozen meats and vegetables since 1969.
Need a personal integrity booster shot? Your prescription is right here. Tune in with Eddie Frederick every week. Information is power.
Attention all forward-thinking companies. Sure, you can do with a continuous positive boost to your image and impact your bottom line. If you think training is expensive, try not training and you will experience a perpetual downward spiral in patronage on account of increased dissatisfied customers. Take things into your hands and engage the best at motivation and customer care training with a tried and tested track record. Visit www.efrederick.com now and learn how you can change the atmosphere in your business and improve the customer experience for everyone who does business with you. Spice Island Beach Resort and Belmont Estate are two such local entities of world renown that have benefited tremendously from ongoing customer care, social skills, and motivation training. Training changes everything for the better for any business and every team member. Enhance employee performance through increased awareness and passion for the job at hand. Greater potential in your workforce awaits you through engaged, high-energy training that works. Log on now, www.efrederick.com.
Eddie Frederick has got it all.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
You're listening to Eddie Frederick, where good values make great radio.
Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Wonderful, folks. Wonderful. Oh, yes, we have a wonderful program planned for you today. And I'm sure you are excited. Of course, Carnival is coming up. We have quite a bit of onions to fry today, but the subject matter today is very, very inviting indeed, I must say so. Now, so welcome to our 277th edition as we have reached the last Sunday of July with 5 more days to its end. Time waits on no one, folks. Spend it wisely. Remember, every second, minute, hour that you spend with anyone is a piece of you that you've given to them that you will never be able to get back. So make sure the recipients of your time are the right ones. Goodly, folks, as soon as you enter the room today, please remember to share, comment, like, love, and interact as you know how in your effort to make this session a fun-filled and lively one. Our angel number today is 277. And that number, of course, signifies trust in your intuition and spiritual guidance, encouraging you to embrace opportunities for personal growth and self-discovery. It suggests that you are on the right path towards spiritual awakening and that your angels are supporting your journey. Sit up and pay attention to the vibrations, to the energies and the frequencies all around you. For not everything that portrays itself the way you see it is as you perceive it. Our topic to guide today's discourse, folks, is simple. Simple. Your interpretation of pain determines your future. We have to learn to turn struggle into strength. So stop seeing struggle as the be-all and end-all. You are being chipped and polished, and through friction, the end result will be the diamond you were born to be. Don't allow anyone to break you with their manipulative capacity. Know when someone is taking you for the fool and refuse to be conscripted or enlisted. What if I told you that pain isn't your enemy? It is your unlikely mentor, believe it or not. The greatest comebacks in history weren't written by talent or luck. They were forged in fire. Today, we're flipping the script. Your pain isn't holding you back. It is preparing you. So let's talk about how to turn your breakdown into your breakthrough, your perceived setback into your setup. Pain is simply data, not destiny. You see, data refers to raw facts, raw figures, or even symbols that represent information about objects, events, or even concepts. It can be in the form of numbers, texts, images, audio, video, or any other format that can be perceived by a computer or analyzed by humans. But the hard truth, pain really hurts, but suffering is optional. Your brain asks one question: is this the end or the beginning? How you answer will determine your truth. Folks, come on, hit the share button and let's get some more people in the room so that they can all benefit from this very, very interesting and intriguing topic here today. Good, your interpretation of pain determines your future. So, you see, neuroplasticity proves every time you choose resilience, you rewrite your brain for strength. Your brain is reconfigured. Folks, this is the kind of thinking you should gravitate to. And trust me, you will never be tempted to tune into any barbed wire head for guidance in your life. You have the capacity to use more of your gray matter to expand your abilities and live a more focused and fulfilling and fulfilled life. You don't get to choose your pain, folks, but you do get to choose your power move. But what about the fork in the road? Are you a victim or a victor? The victim story is, this always happens to me. A person like that is stuck in the past. But the victor story is, this is happening for me. It's fuel for the future. Folks, there's some fire starter examples I can give you. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first television job, and she was told she wasn't good enough for television. She turned around and built a media empire. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. But what did that do for him? It fueled him to become the greatest of all time. The difference between a setback and a comeback, folks, one thing, your mindset. If your mindset is of the gutter, you will gravitate to all things gutter. Folks, we can only develop to as far as we see ourselves advancing. When the story changes for us, we should graduate to the level where we can use our course, where we are coming from, as reference only. Not with pride to the point where it acts as an anchor. We use references of our past to motivate and inspire others to believe. If you can do it, they can do it too. What about the alchemy of adversity? How to transmute pain? There are a couple of steps here, folks. Own your story. Be proud of your story. Yes, this hurts. It hurts now. What is the hidden curriculum? What am I to learn from this? Step 2, find the lesson. Rejection? No, come on. Upgrade your skills. Betrayal? Master discernment. And we have found that a lot of people are not discerning in Grenada. And when you are discerning, people tend to think you are intimidating. No. When you are discerning, you see through people, folks. You see straight through them. So what should you do? Weaponize it. Use the anger, the grief, the fire to outwork your doubts. And what should be our battle cry? Turn your why me into watch me. You see the champion's secret, pain as fuel? Develop a Navy SEAL mindset. The more you sweat in training, the less you bleed in war. Elon Musk's edge. Near bankruptcy with Tesla and SpaceX. If something's important enough, folks, you do it even if the odds are against you. We ask you to call to arms, folks. Your future self is begging you. Don't waste this pain. A challenge is a bad thing to waste. But what's the ultimate pivot? From surviving to thriving. Nick Vujicic, born with no limbs, but he actually evolved into a global motivational speaker. Question: what if your deepest pain is actually your superpower in disguise? What's your power move, folks? Create a pain resume. List every hardship you've survived. Now realize you're still here. You ain't dead yet. Get your tail up and go do something useful. Pain is the price of entry for a life that matters. The weight that crushes some becomes the foundation for others. So tell me, what will you build from your pain? The world doesn't need your excuses. It needs your unshakable strength. Now go, turn your pain into power. So you see what I said? Your interpretation of pain determines your future. Turn struggle into strength. Let's take a little break and we come right back with a lot more.
Want to stay informed, get educated, and feel empowered? Stay tuned where information is power.
Eddie Frederick has got it all. Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
This is Edification, made possible by the efforts of the Center for Democracy and Good Governance, CDGG. The strength of views and opinions expressed during edification are not necessarily a reflection or representation of the sponsors and/or affiliates of this program.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
You're tuned to Eddie Frederick, where information is power.
Eddie Frederick has got it all. Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, welcome back. And for those of you just joining, please, thank you for joining. It's a plum pleasing pleasure to have you again. All the loyal viewers, as per usual, I want to thank you for joining today. Now, if you want me to really take you seriously, folks, you have to look the part. Image is important. People can say what they want. Image is important. You cannot be looking an unacceptable how and addressing subjects that you appear to articulate well just because your audience might be a little below you and clueless. That is why they say one-eye man is king in blind-eye man country. So through this medium here today, you will learn of the importance of image. But just before we actually get some more into that, I just want to share something of currency. You know, I've listened to Dr. Francis Alexis, a Commonwealth renowned legal scholar, an expert on constitutional matters. And based on his track record and background, I dare say, I trust his judgment on the issues ventilated. After all, certain leading African countries, London-based Privy Council, and the more developed countries of the Caribbean would not seek Dr. Alexis's counsel on matters rooted in the constitutional realm within the Commonwealth construct if he were not worth his salt. We really have to respect our very own and stop waiting for them to die. So while lying down in a coffin, we take notice for the first time via the eulogy and only then retort, I didn't know this man did all those things. How come we never knew these things? You didn't want to know. You see, that is why the proverb says, a tree is best measured when lying down. He's now dead, and we start giving him all the accolades. Let's give people their flowers while they're alive now. The truth is, you never trusted anyone who tried to tell you because you were so mired in and consumed by barbed wire opinions that favored your warped mindset to disparage others, that you were always in pushback mode when proper information is shared with you. You see, very often we find ourselves involved in conversations of the he said, she said variety. We may not know the parties involved, or we may have heard some other version of the same story from another source. But the sad thing is, we use this information as the basis for our opinions and interactions with the people involved. But there's an old African saying, heirs don't pass head, which means we should never let what goes into our ears override good common sense. You see, common sense tells us we should accept people for who they are based on our individual experience with them. All too often, the side of the story that is not told is the other person's side. It is in our best interests to give everyone a fair start, regardless of what we have heard about them. We should make our own mental inventory, identify any negative experiences we have had. If we have none, we should commit ourselves to be open and deal with people as they deal with us. Folks, keep an open mind. Keep an open mind. You see, a mind is like a parachute. It is best used when open. Whenever I deliver any feature or keynote remarks at any session, or even motivational session for any team at any company or organization, whether in person or via Zoom, and my short bio were to be shared, you can see change on the faces of many in the audience right here in Grenada. Many of them never take time to find out anything positive about anyone, least among them me. You see, they live the narrative that they have devised in their head through envy and malice with their dunce, easy to manipulate selves, never spending any time on their personal growth and development so they can truly grow on their own. But we know what this is. A prophet has no honor in his own country, among his own countrymen. But that is all right. Folks, we ought to be tired of all the broke enemies that we keep attracting. They cannot do anything for themselves and have a deep desire to add you to their target list, with themselves being chief thereon. You know, look at all the people who try to pull you down. Among them, you're sure to find people you once helped, people you saw through and decided to give a wide berth and steer clear of much of their egotistic annoyances. You cannot allow the experience with them, as disappointing as it might have been, to maim you. No, use that experience as fuel to cause you to climb. Remember, the forces of the universe know the truth, and in spite of whatever weaponized story is shared of you, none of those shall prosper. Your personal image, how you present yourself visually, professionally, and behaviorally, folks, plays a crucial role in how seriously you are taken in both professional and social settings. Here is why it matters and how to cultivate a strong, credible image. First impressions, folks, are powerful. People form opinions about you within seconds based on appearance, body language, and your tone. This is where they meet you before they meet you. A polished professional look, dress, grooming, posture signals competence before you even speak. What about non-verbal communication It speaks loudest. Body language, eye contact, firm handshake, confident posture conveys authority. Facial expressions and tone affect how your message is received. Calm versus erratic builds trust and credibility. You see, consistency in your appearance and behavior reinforces reliability. People trust those who look the part. Example, a lawyer in a suit versus a lawyer in sweatpants. Professional opportunities depend on perception. Employers, clients, and even peers judge competence partly on image. A strong LinkedIn photo, well-written bio, and professional attire can open a lot of doors for you folks. Reflects self-respect and discipline. You see, taking care of your appearance shows you value yourself and, of course, your work. Sloppiness can imply carelessness, even if untrue. So how to improve your personal image? Dress appropriately for your industry. Business formal, smart, casual, casual elegance, etc. Just dress appropriately. Practice confident communication, clear speech, active listening. Maintain good hygiene and grooming, neat hair, clean clothes. And just in case someone were to unexpectedly turn up at your residence, make sure your surroundings are clean and your dwelling is consistent with the image you portray otherwise. Be mindful of digital presence, folks. Professional social media, email etiquette. Avoid the use of swear words, whether in whole or by initials. These tell a different story of you. Align actions with words. You see, authenticity, that strengthens credibility, folks. When image matters most, do you think? Job interviews, client meetings, public speaking, networking, and of course, advocacy. Leadership roles, people follow those who inspire confidence. What would be your key takeaways from that which I have just shared? Your image isn't about vanity. It's a tool to communicate competence, respect, and professionalism before you even say a word. Small refinements can dramatically impact how others perceive and treat you. Folks, that's what I said. Your interpretation of pain determines your future. Turn struggle into strength. Let's take a little break and we'll come back with a lot more spicy stuff today.
Want to stay informed, get educated, and feel empowered? Stay tuned where information is power.
Eddie Frederick has got it all. Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
This is Edification, made possible by the efforts of the Center for Democracy and Good Governance, CDGG. The strength of views and opinions expressed during edification are not necessarily a reflection or representation of the sponsors and/or affiliates of this program.
Hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftop and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
You're tuned to Eddie Frederick, where information is power.
Eddie Frederick has got it all. Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Beautiful, beautiful. Welcome back again, folks. And for those of you just joining, I beg of your indulgence to share the live. Share the live, tag your friends, get people in the room. I know people are very busy with Groovy and whatever it is that's taking place. I've lost touch, so I really can't even tell you what is happening. But I know this is the season for that. And of course, I believe it's Friday, that's the 1st of August, or Saturday, I'm not too sure, but one of them is going to be the public holiday for us to actually observe Emancipation Day. Well, folks, lovely to have you here. You know, there's a little thing I would like to share with you. Osprey Lines seem to be celebrating 30 straight years of service as our main ferry service between the islands. I beg of you to join me in congratulating them on this milestone achievement. So let's get the ball rolling here. In public advocacy, folks, your personal image isn't just about looking professional. It's about building trust, credibility, and influence to drive change. Whether you're campaigning for social justice, excuse me, environmental reform, or policy shifts, how you present yourself excuse me, can determine whether people listen, believe, and even follow your cause. Why does personal image matter in public advocacy? First and foremost, we must be appropriate when it comes to our tropical setting and casual nature of our environment to begin with, yet mindful to ensure that how we look will be the precursor to us being taken seriously or not. I am not one for the European style of formal, one bit. Oh no. I am all for us doing us, but with standard and a level that supports the building of credibility. You see, trust equals influence. People support advocates they perceive as authentic, knowledgeable, and reliable. A polished yet relatable image helps overcome skepticism. Example, dressing professionally for legislative hearings, but casually for community rallies. Fantastic. Media and public perception. You see, journalists, donors, and opponents will scrutinize your appearance, tone, and past statements. A consistent professional image ensures your message, not your presentation, is the focus. What about authority in your cause? Dress the part. A climate activist might wear sustainable brands. A policy advocate should dress like someone lawmakers would take seriously. Body language, confident posture, steady eye contact, and controlled gestures signal leadership. What about relatability versus credibility balance? You see, grassroots activism, a more casual, approachable style builds connection. Example, community, t-shirts, jeans, so be relatable. Testifying before a congress of sorts or a board of directors, business attire will surely reinforce expertise. and believability. What about digital presence? That amplifies impact. Social media profiles, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, should align with your advocacy role. Avoid controversial posts that distract from your consistent mission. Opponents will be able to use them to weaponize. Avoid getting so invested in others' criticisms of your views that you start using expletives and diving deeper and deeper into the gutter to match your opponents. You would have played right into their hands, causing others to lose regard and respect for you. How to cultivate a strong image for advocacy? Dress strategically, folks. Formal settings, hearings, press conference, suits or blazers, neutral colors. Community events, branded shirts, cultural attire, if it strengthens connections. Protests and rallies, or practical yet symbolic. Climate activists in Fridays for Future gear. But you must master public communication. So what about your voice? Speak clearly. Avoid filler words, well, you know, Storytelling. Use personal anecdotes to humanize data. Example, I met a mother who, instead of just stats. Media interviews. Prep sound bites. Stay concise and on message. We want you to control your digital footprint. LinkedIn, highlight advocacy wins, publications, and partnerships. Twitter or X, engage with experts, share reputable sources, avoid heated rants. What about photos and videos? High quality visuals of you in action. Example, speaking, volunteering. Handle opposition gracefully, folks. Critics will attack your image to discredit you, because most of them have nothing to discredit you in terms of your facts. Respond with facts, not emotional reactions. Because remember, when they catch you reacting, it's because you've already been defeated. Example, if mocked for elitist attire, pivot to, I dress to ensure marginalized voices like mine are heard in these rooms. Partner with respected figures. Align with established organizations or leaders to borrow some credibility early in your career. What about real-world examples? Probably you know Greta Thunberg. Casual wear, braided hair, but she relatable though. She relates to youth activists. But her fierce, fact-driven speeches command global respect. She does not throw words for her targets, nor does she regularly whisper accusative innuendos. She delivers with certainty. Malala Yousafzai, she blends traditional cultural attire with polished Western dress for diplomacy. But what about Van Jones? Sharp suits, plus accessible language, bridge activism, and policy circles. Folks, in advocacy, your image isn't about vanity. It is strategy. It determines who takes you seriously, how media frames your cause, whether opponents can dismiss you. And your goal, look like the leader your movement needs in every context. If even you're a movement of one. Because you know what they say, one man with courage is a majority. Your interpretation of pain, folks, determines your future. Turn struggle into strength. Let's take a little break here and we'll come back with the final segment. You have a shortened version today, folks, because I have got something else important to do. So we'd come back with a little bit of, do you believe Tropical Trump's interpretation of pain has anything to do with determining his future in Grenadian politics. That is going to be sassy. So stand firm and tag some friends because we're getting hot to climax.
Want to stay informed, get educated, and feel empowered? Stay tuned where information is power.
Eddie Frederick has got it all. Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Wonderful, folks. So we're right back doing our thing in our final segment. So, do you believe that Tropical Trump's interpretation of pain has anything to do with determining his future in Grenadian politics? Folks, Tropical Trump's interpretation of political and personal challenges, what might be framed as pain, has significantly influenced his trajectory in Grenadian politics, reflecting both resilience and determinism in his own career. This dynamic unfolds varyingly. You see, pain as political fuel, resilience and reinvention. Tropical Trump's career can be marked by setbacks, electoral defeats, internal party strife, and public scandals, which he often reframed as opportunities for reinvention. For instance, after his 2022 electoral loss 9-6 to the NDC, he publicly conceded under the guise of being deeply hurt and pledged constructive opposition, framing the defeat as a democratic mandate rather than a personal failure. But he's always known to say one thing and do the other, as part of his consistency over the years. He says what he believes you want to hear, but that's not what he means. Earlier, during the 1999 constitutional crisis triggered by his then Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Raphael Fletcher, resigning, he turned the minority government into a landslide victory, showcasing his ability to leverage adversity. Full marks. However, what he took that absolute mandate and did with it was another story, to the point where in 2003, he came within 6 votes of losing it all. You remember that karaoke seat? 6 votes within losing it all. Yet for all, with a slim majority, he ratcheted up the ante and behaved even more acrimoniously, more vengeful, more vituperative and scampish, thus sealing his legacy in the absolute negative quadrant of local and regional political history. But what's the determinism angle? His repeated comebacks suggest a belief that challenges are inevitable but surmountable. A deterministic view that political survival hinges on adapting to crises. Pain and legacy defining. The Glasgow Judgment and pension reforms. The 2022 Glasgow Judgment, which ruled against Tropical Trump's government on public officers' pension rights, forced him into a defensive stance. His decision not to appeal, despite claiming to have alleged legal grounds, revealed a pragmatic interpretation of pain, which cost him the election. He framed the judgment as a call for national conversation and formed a so-called advisory committee, signaling a shift from confrontation to collaboration. even though it was all a facade. Critics argue this was strategic avoidance of a losing battle, acknowledging public sentiment ahead of elections. Determinism angle, Tropical Trump's response here suggests he viewed the pain of legal defeat as deterministic, a fixed reality requiring recalibration rather than resistance. But what about physical pain and political mortality? You see, Tropical Trump's 2025 collapse during a speech underscored his aging and health struggles, if it were to be taken as authentic, that is. While he recovered, the incident amplified calls for his retirement, with critics labeling it a metaphor for his waning political vitality. His insistence on remaining active, however, reflects a deterministic defiance, interpreting physical pain as a temporary hurdle rather than an endpoint. But some people who know Tropical Trump well enough never believed that his so-called collapse was genuine, as one of his erstwhile friends was on another platform, popular social media platform, spilling the beans on him in the most graphic of manners. And so his strategy was to distract the nation and crafted this blackout to remove attention from that side to him. What about the pain of betrayal and party erosion? Internal nasty party strife, like the defection of one nondescript ahead of last election, which left the entity with 14-1 in the parliament, and factional battles, over succession. We all know how that ended. Has eroded Tropical Trump's control. His attempts to marginalize rivals, example, his then challenger, backfired, revealing a deterministic blind spot, assuming loyalty was absolute. But the key quote you heard from NNP insiders, he don't go in no way. He is plotting and he know how to plot well. You see, NNP insider highlighting his refusal to concede power despite mounting dissent around him. But pain as a deterministic catalyst actually revealed that Tropical Trump's career embodies a paradox. His interpretation of pain, electoral, legal, physical, as both inevitable and malleable, has allowed reinvention, yet also trapped him in cycles of crisis. His deterministic outlook that challenges must be navigated has sustained his longevity, but may now limit his ability to exit gracefully at a time when he is quickly approaching 80, and his irrelevant way of thinking in this digital era proves him of very little to no use whatsoever going forward. You see, as Grenada's political landscape shifts for NDC's digital momentum, his future hinges on whether he can reinterpret pain as a signal to step back and assume an advisory role rather than fight on, thus truly securing his place that his legacy prescribes for him according to his karma, the dustbin of our history. I want to give you a final thought on that, folks. Your scars are proof that you're stronger than what tried to hurt you. But in politics, scars can also become anchors. Tropical Trump's final legacy will depend on whether his deterministic resilience evolves into strategic retreat. Let that resonate, folks. Let it simmer. And as the old country people would say, let it kusume. As I close here today, folks, I share a letter I received after last week Monday's appearance that I made at a major regional event hosted here in Grenada under the patronage of our very alive and effervescent Governor General, Dame Cecile Lagrenade. It was to do with a commendation for a provocative keynote at the 30th CAPS Biennial Conference. Dear Mr. Frederick, I hope this letter finds you in excellent health. I am writing to extend my deepest commendations for your daring, consequential, and profoundly impactful keynote speech at the 30th Biennial Conference of the Caribbean Association of Secondary Schools Principals, CAPS, in Grenada, under the theme, Empowering Educational Leaders for Sustainability, Navigating Challenges, Inspiring Innovation and Excellence. You not only did the theme justice, you elevated it to new heights. Your address was a masterclass in visionary leadership, seamlessly weaving together the urgency of sustainability, the resilience required to navigate systemic challenges, and the transformative power of innovation in education. The way you connected Caribbean realities, from climate resilience to youth empowerment, through an understanding of the multi-generational environment in which we are to navigate global educational imperatives, was nothing short of brilliant. You challenged principals to move beyond traditional hierarchies and embrace collaborative, identity-driven leadership, a message that aligns with the growing discourse on sustainability leadership as a collective, transformative force. You were forceful in your admonition of principals and teachers to stick together, to push back pedestrian politicians appearing to impose policies on them that could only result in populist quick fixes that come with zero legacy of good repute. When I heard you say this, I said to myself, we need this man in our various territories to motivate our teaching fraternities to stand firm against the forces of evil that rarely appear to try us indeed. What stood out most was your unflinching honesty and the direct way in which you enunciated your confident delivery. You didn't shy away from critiquing the status quo, whether the inertia in policy implementation or the need for educators to turn pain into power by reframing obstacles as catalysts for change. This resonated deeply, particularly a call to empower students, not just as learners, but as problem solvers and stewards of their communities. A principle echoed in global best practices for education for sustainable development, ESD. Your speech was more than inspirational. It was a call to action. By emphasizing hands-on human-centric approaches like those seen in Thailand, zero-waste student projects, or Japan's drought-resilient platforms, you gave educators tangible models to replicate. The urgency you placed on disaster preparedness and climate education, drawing parallels to Grenada's post-Hurricane Ivan rebuilding, underscored the stakes for Caribbean leaders. For these reasons, your keynote didn't just meet the conference's objectives, it redefined them. You've set a benchmark for what it means to lead with courage, creativity, and conviction. As a long-time advocate for Caribbean unity and progressive education, your voice is a beacon, and this speech will undoubtedly ripple through classrooms and policy circles for years to come. Thank you for your uncompromising vision and for reminding us that sustainability isn't just a goal, it's a daily practice of leadership. I eagerly await your next interventions and hope CAPS will continue to amplify such critical dialogues with utmost respect and admiration. Postscript. We are glad that this was broadcast live and that there is an actual archived copy of this on YouTube, whereupon we can encourage other colleagues who couldn't attend to tune in. Even members of the general public would be well advised to tune in to it also and be duly proud of their countryman, as he really represented with the highest standard and quality of delivery. Your insights deserve the widest possible audience. Goodly folks, you see this letter? It balances professionalism with passionate appreciation, cites relevant frameworks, and subtly reinforces the influence I never thought I had, listening to the local lumpens who use their level by which to judge me. I thank Dr. Diane Abel Jeffrey, president of both the Grenada and Caribbean Association of Principals of Secondary Schools, GAPS and CAPS, for inviting me to deliver this keynote address. Trust me, this made it ideal for me to rise to the occasion in both personal delivery and public acknowledgement. I am told as feedback that my delivery had the desired effect of impacting the first day's breakout sessions, as references were made to several of the areas I alluded to. Folks, all I can truly do is to give God the praise. Always remember, a prophet has no honor in his own country. I thank Dr. Abel Jeffrey for taking a chance on me because of the belief she has in my abilities. May God richly bless all principals of secondary schools and their teaching faculties at home here and abroad as they navigate the challenges which at times can seem insurmountable. Folks, your interpretation of pain determines in no small way your future. Turn your struggles into strength. Folks, I am in, I'm out, and I'm gone. Thanks for joining. Continue to share. See you next week at the same time, same place for more extraordinary programming. Until then, stay safe, stay well, remain vigilant, and stay lifted. But don't forget to stay focused. Remember, the people, your enemies, they don't drive a Range Rover. It is about time for us to get fed up with having poor enemies. Our enemies are broke, so no need to focus on them. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. Just type in my name, Edward or Eddie Frederick. No pretense. What you see is what you get. Subscribe, like, and share. And be prepared to receive your mental multivitamins as straight up as I deliver them. Toodaloo, folks. Have a great one. God's richest blessings on each and every one of you. And remember, whatever you do this week, do it for Grenada's good.
Want to stay informed, get educated, and feel empowered? Stay tuned where information is power.
Eddie Frederick has got it all. Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
This has been Edification, made possible by the efforts of the Center for Democracy and Good Governance, CDGG. The Center for Democracy and Good Governance is a sound organization established to promote and strengthen democracy.
I want the best for my family, so every meal has to be perfect. Every bite has to say, There's no doubt in my mind that the best in frozen meats and vegetables has to come from the Country Cold Store. Hams, turkeys, sausages, beef, pork, chicken. I just don't know my family is in safe hands. Thank you, Country Cold Store, for being there for us for the past 40 years.
There are some interesting specials available at Country Cold Store's Mini Mart while stocks last. Take advantage of these specials as they assist you to stretch your limited funds.
The Country Cold Store, providing the best in frozen meats and vegetables since 1969.
Need a personal integrity booster shot? Your prescription is right here. Tune in with Eddie Frederick every week. Information is power.
Attention all forward-thinking companies. Sure you can do with a continuous positive boost to your image and impact your bottom line. If you think training is expensive, try not training and you will experience a perpetual downward spiral in patronage on account of increased dissatisfied customers. Take things into your hands and engage the best at motivation and customer care training with a tried and tested track record. Visit www.efrederick.com now and learn how you can change the atmosphere in your business and improve the customer experience for everyone who does business with you. Spice Island Beach Resort and Belmont Estate are two such local entities of world renown that have benefited tremendously from ongoing customer care, social skills, and motivation training. Training changes everything for the better for any business and every team member. Enhance employee performance through increased awareness and passion for the job at hand. Greater potential in your workforce awaits you through engaged, high-energy training that works. Log on now, www.efrederick.com.
Eddie Frederick has got it all. Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.